Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we're going to dig into a lady's purse. So that is something that rarely ever happens. My children always knew not to touch my purse. Jim doesn't ever get into my purse, but we're going to expose what is in there on our YouTube channel for anyone to see. So this is for special reasons. You know, when I was a professor, actually, no, once I was promoted to a top-level administrator, I carried a much larger bag than this. I didn't want to carry a purse and a briefcase. I'm not a briefcase kind of gal, I'll tell you that for sure. I'm a little bit laid back and not quite as formal as some folks are. So I just wanted an oversized purse that I could put my computer in and a few file folders and things like that, because I walked all over campus for meetings everywhere with all kinds of people. And so I would take that bag with all my stuff in it, plus all of the stuff that a woman usually carries in her purse. And so it was kind of a heavy bag. And when I retired 3 years ago, I was quite ready to not have such a heavy handbag all the time. No more computer, no more file folders, no more of the heavy stuff. And I bought a couple of smaller purses. Now, I don't buy expensive handbags. I prefer to spend my money on things that mean a whole lot more to me than than walking around with a fancy handbag. That doesn't appeal to me. But now I've graduated back halfway between the smaller ones I've been using and the great big ones that I used to use. So I have begun to think, after doing some research and thinking, that it is pretty important for us as ladies to have a handbag that will also double as a sort of a survival kit, a survival bag. And so I did some research, and yes, there are a number of sources out there that will give you a list of things that are a good idea for you to carry in your handbag, so that if you are stuck someplace, that you will be able to manage comfortably. Now, it's not a full-blown survival kit like a 3-day go bag. We always travel with a car emergency kit wherever we go. If we go hiking, we have our backpacks, and they are a different kind of a survival pack. In case we're needed, we have an emergency bag in Max. Max is our Yamaha R-Max side-by-side. We've just shortened it to Max. We call it Max. And so we have these other survival kits and emergency kits. But if I'm away from my vehicle, if I'm at the doctor's office, or if we're at the theater, or if we're someplace where we're a ways from our car, and something happens where we have to hunker down and be there for a while, then what do I have in my purse that will help me be comfortable for several hours? Well, I have compiled a list based on several of the lists that I found online. And I'm going to make this available to you. The link will be below. And once you get to that link, it's the first page of our website. Just scroll to the bottom where the download section is. And this will be number 2, the second thing down. So you can download this and print it off if you like. Now, the interesting thing about lists are, it gets our brain moving. We start thinking in this vein of what we might need for comfort and survival in a difficult situation if we can't get home or to our vehicle where we have other things. And so as our brain begins to work, we start sorting through. Whenever I have a list like this, I think, yeah, that's a good one. No, I don't need that one. And so I go through the whole list and I apply it to my own needs. And we all do that. And so this list is just to help get your creative thinking going, and for you to help you put together something that you feel very comfortable about. Now, we're going to go through mine in just a minute. Mine is not necessarily what yours will look like. This list will help, but feel free to be creative and to put things in it that apply to your specific needs. There's a little bit of a price to pay when we do this, because it is going to add weight to our bags, which is why I had to move up from a smaller bag into this kind of a medium-sized bag. Before I started adding these extra things, my handbag weighed about 2.5 pounds, and I can handle that just easy, and so that's not a problem for me. Now this weighs just under 5 pounds, so I almost doubled the weight with the things that I chose to put in there. So I'm just going to share with you what I thought about as I was considering each of these items. First, I thought, now, is this really essential? Would I really want to have this if I was stuck in a situation where I needed to be comfortable for a long wait of some kind? Is it essential? Is it compact? Is it lightweight? The answer to those things weren't always yes, but most of the time they were yes. And then one of my things that I really go for in kitchen appliances as well as everything, is it good for more than one use? And while not everything is a yes on that, most of the things are. So I'm not going to read through this list. A lot of the things from the list are found here, but you'll be able to download this list yourself. The single most important thing for me is to have my phone. This is my light. It has a flashlight on it. It is my communication. It is my ability to get information. So long as the internet is still up, I can get critical information that I need. So my smartphone is the single most important thing that I will want to have with me at all times. So I'm just going to set it here. Okay, so we're going to start down here. One of my problems is I can't remember in which pocket I've put things, so I might have to go through and zip and zip and zip. So I'm going to pull these things out so that you can see them. Okay, so I have three things here. I have this handy, whatever you call this, a multi-tool thingy. And I have never carried one of these before, and I thought it was kind of silly, frankly, for me to have this. But it does 20 different things. So, you know, it might be kind of handy. So in church the other day, I was talking to a good friend of mine whose bag is much bigger than mine. And we got to talking about, well, what do you carry in yours? And she said, the most important thing I have is this. And she reached in and pulled out one of these. I said, are you kidding me? She said, no. She said, I've used it all the time because this is a little bit heavy. It added quite a bit of weight to my bag. And I was thinking, is this really essential? That was my first question. And she said, I've used it all the time. So I've made the decision to keep this in my purse. Now, the other thing is feminine hygiene things. Now, those of us that are in our older years no longer need things like this, but I carry them anyway because there may be someone around me that might need something like that, and they make really good bandages. They have a lot of multi-uses, so I just carry a couple with me at all times. This is my glasses case, and I got this idea from one of these lists, but it's an old glass case, and look, it is filled with my doodahs. Crash key to my house. Here are some glass cleaners. I have about 4 Band-Aids. I have paper clips, a couple of paper clips, a couple of safety pins. I have a pair of nail clippers, and I used to travel with nail clippers all the time, carry them in my purse anyway. Yes, absolutely, I've used those time and time again. Then a pair of tweezers. I have pulled out slivers with these tweezers. Of course, my multi-tool could also do that now, so I have a redundancy there. Then I have these little coin towels, and this is really a nice little towel that's about this size, and all I do is just drop a few drops of water on it, and it expands into a very, oh heck, I'll show you. It just takes a couple of drops to get it so that it expands. And then you just peel it open like this. We carry a lot of these in Max because these are so handy to have. And so it's a nice sized little towel that you could use for a number of things.
8 by 8 looks like.
Yeah, that's a good estimate. And not only do these help clean us, but also I'm very susceptible to heat, and so it makes for a nice little cloth that I can put on my forehead or whatever. So now I'm going to have to put another one in there because I have those. And then I have a whistle. Hold on here. That was just a little tiny bit of air that went through. This thing is as loud as can be. So an emergency whistle is always a good thing to have. Then, because I struggle with my eyes, I am a redhead. and susceptible to sun. And early in my research career, I did some research out at White Sands National Monument, and I didn't have my sunglasses, and my eyes kind of got sunburned. And since that time, the light has been very hard on my eyes, so I wear dark glasses a lot. And these are just eye drops. They're just regular Systane eye drops, but they come in these little individual type packets, and I love these. And then I have some antibiotic. This is Neosporin, and I just robbed this out of one of our Band-Aid packets that has, it's a full packet. I think I got it at Costco, and it has 5 or 6 of these in it, so I just borrowed one. And all of those go in this glasses case, which makes it very, very handy, and I just will slip these right back in here. Oh, that's just some of my regular purse stuff that's not for emergencies. Okay, now this is actually, I'm going to flip this around and we'll do the other outside pocket, see what's here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here I just have some makeup stuff, and along with that I have a glasses cleaning cloth that came with it. It's not even out of the package yet, but it came with a new pair of dark glasses that I just recently got. And I have an emery board and some lipstick and that kind of thing. So just, and I always carry a little makeup kit with me. So that's just part of my regular purse stuff. And then, because I am so susceptible to the sun, I also carry this 70 ultra sheer sunscreen, and this has come in really handy as well. Oh, here. Okay. Now for the inside. Okay, on an inner pocket, inside here, a zipper pouch, I keep just a couple of little energy bars so that I'll have a little bit of a snack, and I have 2. I can share one if necessary. And then I have this. Somebody said, and I don't have it on here, I took it off because I couldn't for the life of me think of why you would need a match and a birthday candle. And I thought, what? She says, and I've used it so often, but she didn't explain what she had used it for. But I thought, okay, being able to start a fire might be a good thing. And so I've never in my life carried a cigarette lighter because I've never smoked, not ever, not once in my entire life. Jim had to show me how to use this. Oh, I forgot how to use it, Jim.
Okay, here we go.
So I just got another lesson on how to do this. Somebody said the little red button doesn't do anything. Okay, probably if I'm carrying it, I need to know how to use it. So you have to go like this. I got it. And I have it in this little carrying case. It's supposed to be watertight. I just thought that was a good idea. Then, you know, when all else fails, there have been several times, I hardly ever, never in years have I carried a pad of paper in my purse because I've got my phone. But there are just some times when a pad of paper and a pencil might be necessary. So I now have that. Because my phone is so important, I have this little power bank, and this will charge my phone 3 times. So it's a nice little power bank. I'll put the link to this down below so you can see it, if you can check it out if you're interested in that. And then I have a little pack of Kleenex, and one of them, I just bought a whole set of these, and I refill them rather than buy new ones every time. And, oh, these are my handout cards for our channel. And then I have some, these are baby wipes that have a little zipper right here. And I use these for all kinds of things. And so this makes it really nice. It fits any kind of baby wipe or kind of a wipe that you want. And this is a lovely packet and how to deal with these. Then this little pouch came with this purse, and so I thought, well, I'll just use it for other things. So I'm going to take everything out here now and show you what I've got. So I have these little mini toothbrushes, and it's just a little dot of toothpaste, and the other end is a pick. These are, I use these all the time when I was working and grabbing a bite of lunch and having to go to another meeting, and then I would stop in the restroom and give my teeth a quick little brushing so I didn't have spinach hanging from between my teeth. I always carry cough drops with me, so those go in here. These are more lens wipes, so I have those in a couple of places. This is some hand cream. And then this little pouch I got from this list over here. This is a pill pouch, and don't want to spill the pills. So on one side I have the medications that I take on a daily basis, and on the other side I have my pain pills and things like that. I have a couple of NSAIDs in there. If you remember our video on over-the-counter pain relievers and what each of them does, I have those available. So I have a one-day supply of my personal medications plus some pain relievers. So that's what I have there. So that's everything in this part. Oh, and that's it. That is it. Oh, these are my sunglasses, and for me, this is an absolute necessity, is to have good sunglasses. And so I carry these with me always. And then many of you know that I have talked about in other videos the importance of water, and that I carry this with me everywhere. I no longer carry this with me everywhere. It is always with me in the car. But I leave it in the car when I go into church or when I go into the grocery store. I no longer lug this along with me in stores or anything else, but I have it in the car. But what if I get stranded somewhere and I need water? Well, that is what this is. This is 8.5 ounces of water in a leak-proof little container that I will be able to take a sip or two. And so this also adds a little bit of weight, but this is the handiest thing. And I really have used this from time to time when that is not available. I carry a cup of water with me everywhere. So that pretty much does it for what I have packed. Now, they do suggest an LED flashlight, but I have opted not to carry one more bulky thing because I do have the flashlight on my phone. I may rethink that and add a small little flashlight, it just depends. But these are things I believe that would help me be comfortable and secure in a situation that might last a few hours, in an emergency type place where I could take care of my own needs. So I hope this has given you some ideas about some of the things that you can add to your purse. Just a few more. Well, it doubled the weight of mine, but that is fine. I now feel so much better when I walk away from my truck and I have my purse because I know that I will be taken care of. So just an idea for you to consider. Share your ideas with us. What are some of the things that you carry that I have not mentioned? And there are plenty that I haven't mentioned. And so once again, our community can contribute to the overall knowledge of the group by sharing ideas that we can pick through and say, oh, that's a good idea, oh, that's a good idea, or that's something I don't need. When we did our video on the 5 imperatives, and I talked about creating and sharing joy. So many of you, we had thousands of comments on that, and thank you so much for those. But one that I just love was a woman who said one of the things that brings her joy is that she sings to her cows. And I just loved that. It has just stayed with me. And so that is why I value our community so very much, is that we can share things that are uplifting and that we help one another as we go. So thank you so much for being a wonderful part of our community. And we will see you again very soon for more videos.